Test, 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 test. Good evening. We will call to order the City of Rockford's regularly scheduled City Council meeting for Monday, May 5th, 2025. This evening, we will begin with an invocation, and we have Pastor Chad McKenna of St. Mark's Lutheran Church with us. He may be the only person not here in Rockford. Okay. Well, what's fortunate is that we do have Pastor State Representative Maurice West with us. Would you be willing to provide us a quick invocation for tonight's council meeting? And there's a microphone right there on the left.
Well, since I was forced, no.
Just suggest it. Yeah.
Let us pray. Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity to witness our city council do the work of the people. We just ask that you touch every member of the city council, give them the desires of the heart when it comes to strength and when it comes to the advocacy that they provide. And we just thank you for those who are going to transition on to what's next for their lives. We ask that you bless them with the next chapter. And as the new ones come in, we ask that you keep them. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Representative West. We sincerely appreciate it. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Logeman? Here. Tarina? Here. Wilkins? Here. Rose? Barrios? Here. Meeks? Here. Bailey? Here. Bonnie? Here. Sorry, Alderman Prunty? Here. 9 present.
Excellent, thank you. We have a quorum this evening. Next, we have a proclamation declaring May 8, 2025 to be Rockford Summit on Racism, Embracing Differences for a Change Day. If you would like to come forward, thank you. Whereas we all belong to a common community, a community made up of diversity of people, diversity of age, gender, nationality, ethnicity, race, color, sex, sexual identity, economic ability, religion, and political affiliation. And whereas we have created divisiveness because of our differences and because we want to live in a community based on spiritual, ethical, and moral principles, we have an obligation to intentionally reconstruct our community's culture. And whereas we all feel comfortable when we're with others like ourselves, but we grow when we are with others that are different than us. Thus, we need to be more comfortable being uncomfortable. And whereas we embrace those who are different than us, we will create a community where we all want to live, where everyone feels like they belong, where everyone feels valued, and where everyone's potential will be developed and will therefore contribute towards the betterment of our community. Now, therefore, I, Thomas P. McNamara, as the mayor of the city of Rockford, do hereby proclaim May 8th, 2025 to be Rockford Summit on Racism, Embracing Differences for a Change Day. Ann, would you like to share a few words with us?
Well, mostly we'd like to invite everybody to join us on May 8th at the Sports Factory. And we're hoping to come out of the summit with 5 short-term actions that everybody can walk out of the summit and start doing. And also 5 long-term goals that will take lots of planning and working together. So thank you for the proclamation, and hoping that all of you will join us. Thank you.
So next up, I want to say that tonight's a very exciting night for a lot of people. But I just want to say one brief word about Alderman Jonathan Logeman. Alderman Logeman was deployed with the Army National Guard to the Middle East since last November. He serves as an operations officer in the Illinois Army National Guard 1178 Infantry Regiment. And while doing that, he also continued to fulfill duties as the second ward alderman. And I think Alderman Logeman, obviously your mother, Mary Kay, your amazing wife, Sarah, your daughters, Eleanor, Maya, and Octavia are all incredibly thrilled that you're home. I just want you to know all of us are thrilled that you're home. We're thrilled that you're home safe, and we genuinely appreciate your service to our country and our community. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we are going to a public hearing, probably the largest public hearing that Alderman Frost has ever chaired. But Alderman Frost, I'll turn it to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I hereby call the public hearing of the proposed sale of general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $13,750,000 to order. Pursuant to 30 ILCS 350/1, a public hearing must be conducted by the City Council prior to the sale of a general obligation alternate revenue bond. Notice of this hearing was given by publication in the Rockford Register Star on April 25th, 2025. That notice informs citizens of Rockford of the purpose of the bond funds and the date of this hearing. Are there any questions or comments from the general public with regard to the proposed appropriation ordinance? If so, please kindly step to one of the microphones, give us your name, address, and make your statement. Seeing no questions or comments, this public hearing is hereby adjourned. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Frost. Next, we're going to move to petitions and communications. We have nothing under planning and development, so we'll go to Code and Regulation Committee. Alderwoman Trina.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item number 1 is a memorandum from Todd Cagnoni, City Administrator, regarding an amendment to the City of Rockford Code of Ordinances, Division 8, Section 2, changing Information Technology Department to Department of Information, Technology, and Integration with a director known as Chief Integration Officer, referred to Code and Regulation Committee. Number 2, the Traffic Commission's agenda for the meeting to be held on May 14, 2025, and minutes from that meeting for consideration at the Code and Regulation Committee meeting on May 27, 2025, referred to Code and Regulation Committee. Number 3 is a memorandum from Martin Bloom, Project Manager, Permits and Special Events, regarding upcoming special events for the 4th of July celebration and National Night Out, referred to Code and Regulation Committee. And lastly, item number 4 is a memorandum from Angela Hammer, Interim Legal Director, regarding Alderman Bonning's proposed amendments to the City of Rockford's Ordinance, Sections 3-119 for hookah lounges, referred to Code and Regulation Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Finance and Personnel Committee and Alderman Frost.
Thank you. All these matters will be referred to the Finance and Personnel Committee. Number 1 is a memorandum from Todd Cagnoni, City Administrator, regarding an amendment to the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Rockford and Winnebago County related to the disposition of the public safety building and the associated land. Number 2, we have a bid opening for the sale of city-owned property, a vacant lot located at 727 3rd Street. I have it sealed.
Hot eyes.
We have a check for $1,000, which is 10% of this. I strike that. It's for the entire amount, I believe, of $1,000, not 10% of the lot from Aaron Lopez and Marcos Lopez Bowden. And I will give the order to sell to our clerk along with the check. Number 3 is a memorandum from Lieutenant Richard Gambini regarding the approval acceptance of the Illinois Attorney General's Office Fiscal Year 26 Organized Retail Crime Grant Award. And number 4 is a memorandum from John Wooch, Assistant City Attorney, regarding a fine reduction policy exception for the property located at 1510 Custer Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to public speakers. We have 3 public speakers this evening. Want to remind all of our public speakers that there's a microphone on the back right as well as the back left of council chambers. You'll have 3 minutes to address the city council, and an alarm will go off and ask that you close your comments at that time. Our first public speaker is Prophet Yusuf.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter, the 8th verse, it says, "Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They will be a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck." What I want to speak about tonight, a poem about mothers. Every day is Mother's Day. She arrives early and returns late. She cooks, cleans, washes, and irons. If something is lost, she tries to find. She's a doctor, nurse, and lawyer, too. A referee if she has to be. She's a banker, secretary, counselor, and teacher, too. Yes, Mother, I am speaking of you. She's a shoulder to lean on, a tear wiper, too. She often cries along with you. She's a free ride to take you wherever you need to go. School, parties, mall, a friend's house, Bible study, or to the movie show. She's not through yet. She's a reminder of homework that's not done yet. She senses when you need to get something off your chest. She listens and tries to be precise, trying not to repeat herself twice. She's a beautician, a barber too. She curls hair and trims it too, so that you don't have to. Again, Mother, I am talking about you. Giving to others so unselfishly, never thinking about her own self. That's a mother. Thank God for all mothers, and happy Mother's Day, and God bless you and your family. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next public speaker this evening is Denzel Winter.
Good morning, committee people. It's a pleasure to be here. Summer is just around the corner, and all children will be out selling water. And that's a good thing, because they're doing something that's positive. Just like it was said on the radio the other day, I hope we go out there and support them, because, the streets could get them at any time. And when they're trying to do something, that's when they need us to be in their corner. So I'm here to let you know that I'll be roaming the corners, checking on my children. But I'll probably be gone for at least 3 months because I have to have surgery. And but I'm going to leave my children in you guys' hands.
Thanks you. Our next public speaker is John Tack Brantley.
Good evening, Mayor McNamara, Alderman, and most of all, our citizens of Rockford, Illinois. I want to briefly open up my speech by talking about the Antichrist wannabe dictator, Donald Trump. When he put his hands on the Bible, he said he was going to uphold the Constitution. So far, he has been dismantling the Constitution as we speak. He's the only person that's above the law that have gotten away with 6 bankruptcies, a failed university, a failed casino, but yet they still voted for him anyway, and he's dismantling our federal government as we speak. And he's on the verge of going into phase F of Project 2025, which means firing 50,000 federal workers. I want to talk about racism, driving while being black. This past week, I had a court date in court for driving while being black. I had an incident where my van was parking my van, and my van is 6 feet wide. The car is 4 feet wide. It's blue. Mind you, the white guy said that the spot on the top of his car, mind you, my feet is on the brakes. There's zero knowledge, but yet he said the white spot on the top of his car, my van put that spot on his car. The police came and said the same thing. First thing I said to the police, driving while being black. When I got to court, this week, I walked in the courtroom with my shirt and tie on, my briefcase. The judge stood up. He said, Mr. Bradley, is you ready? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, come on up here. And then he spent 2 minutes talking about the things that I'm doing out here in the community. The state's attorney wasn't even ready. We won that case. We still got 2 more rounds with the police department and Rockford Housing Authority. The police department accused me of being disobedient. I asked him, did you read my 5-page letter? He said no. Well, if you didn't read my 5-page letter, you didn't read me my Miranda rights. Only thing we can talk about is the war on drugs, driving while being black. Why do y'all harass our young people? Why is y'all planting things on our young people? Then we can have a conversation. Other than that, we don't have no conversation. I want to use myself as an example because when people get in trouble with the police or get in trouble with the school or get in trouble with court, they call Brother John. I have an impeccable record when it comes to standing up against injustice, and I'm looking forward to this day. And I'm also filed a complaint against the police department, and hopefully that one day the Chief Colorado will keep her word when she put me and Ann out the classroom because the white people's in the classroom saying we was upsetting the police class. That's the time we should have been having a dialogue to find out what is our disagreement. What can we do to get along? Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Next, we're going to move to new committee reports. We'll go to Planning and Development Committee and Alderwoman Wilkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 1 is committee recommends approval of the amendments to the 2025-2029 Consolidated Plan, 2025 Annual Action Plan, and CDBG-CV activities. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance.
Thank you. Council, we have one item before us. Is there any discussion on that one item? Seeing no discussion, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Logeman. Aye. Toomberg. Aye. Frost.
Aye.
Tarina. Aye. Prunty. Aye. Wilkins. Aye. Rose. Aye. Barrios. Aye. Meeks. Aye. Bailey. Aye. Bonnie. Aye. 11 ayes.
Excellent. Next, we'll go to Code and Regulation Committee and Alderwoman Tarina.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have 3 pages of items to read off. Item number 1, the committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval to establish a no parking anytime restriction on the south side of Broadway from 13th Street to 15th Street, thus repealing the 2-hour parking restriction on the south side of Broadway from 13th Street, north leg to 15th Street. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 2, the committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval to establish a no parking anytime restriction on the north side of Broadway from 11th Street to 160 feet east of 13th Street, thus repealing the 2-hour parking restriction on the north side of Broadway from 12th Street to 13th Street south leg. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 3, the committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval to establish a no parking anytime restriction on the north side of Broadway from Woodruff Avenue to 18th Street. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 4, the committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval that traffic on Oak Lawn Avenue be required to yield prior to entering the intersection with North Rockford Avenue. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 5, the committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval that traffic on Princeton Avenue be required to yield prior to entering the intersection with North Rockford Avenue. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 6, the committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's recommendation of no action be taken on the following items. A request to establish a no parking anytime restriction on both sides of 23rd Avenue from 11th Street to 20th Street. A request to establish a no parking anytime restriction on both sides of Cedar Street from Avon Street to Winnebago Street, thus repealing the 2-hour parking restriction on the south side of Cedar Street from Rockton Avenue to 150 feet east and west of Rockton Avenue, and a request to establish traffic control at the intersection of Creek Bend and Bend Trail. Number 7, the committee recommends approval of the final plat of Linden Alpine Commercial Subdivision, 4725 South Alpine Road. Number 8, the committee recommends sustaining the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's approval for the modification of an existing liquor license to allow for the sale of full liquor by the drink and to modify the hours of operation on Friday and Saturday to 11 p.m. in a C2 limited commercial zoning district at 641 South Alpine Road. Legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 9, the committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a variation to increase the maximum allowed square footage of a drive-through menu board from 36 square feet to 46.29 square feet, and a variation to increase the maximum allowed height of drive-through menu boards from 6 feet to 6 feet and 3.75 inches, in a C2 limited commercial zoning district at 1224 Bennington Road. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 10, the committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a variation to increase the maximum permitted number of business identification wall signs from 2 to 4 business identification wall signs in a C2 limited commercial zoning district at 3155 McFarland Road. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 11, the committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a special use permit for the outdoor storage of contractor equipment and a variation to allow a gravel storage lot in an I-1 light industrial zoning district at 2612 Pamela Avenue and 2760 22nd Street, subject to conditions. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. And lastly, number 12, the committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for the following text amendment for Article 50-003, off-street parking ratios, and Article 91-002, accessory use. 50-003G, electric vehicle charging stations. Parking spaces that are specifically designated for EVCS shall be counted toward the minimum number of off-street parking space requirements. Electric vehicle charging stations, single-family residential electric vehicle charging stations are permitted as an accessory use. EVCS shall be located within a garage or an interior side of the rear elevation of the structure. Multi-family residential electric vehicle charging stations are permitted as an accessory use. All other zoning districts, electric vehicle charging stations are permitted as an accessory use within any parking structures in all zoning districts. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. That was impressive. We now have 12 items before us. Is there any discussion on those 12 items? Seeing no discussion, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Logeman. Aye. Toomberg.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Torina. Aye. Prunty. Wilkins.
Aye.
Rose.
Aye.
Barrios.
Aye.
Meeks. Aye. Bailey. Aye. Bonnie. Items 1 through 8, 11 ayes. Item number 9, 10 ayes, 1 no. Items 10, 11, and 12, 11 ayes.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Finance and Personnel and Alderman Frost.
Thank you. Number 1, the committee recommends approval of vouchers in the amount of $7,835,263.02 as approved at the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting held on April 28, 2025. Number 2, the committee recommends approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the city and the state of Illinois for Illinois 251 resurfacing project. The total cost of the project is estimated to be $9,943,700, of which the city share is estimated to be only $31,939. The funding source is the motor fuel tax fund, so the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 3, the committee recommends approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the city and the state of Illinois for U.S. Business 20 East State Street ADA improvements from Fairview Boulevard to Rockford College Drive. The total cost of the project is estimated to be $1,437,500, of which the city share is estimated to be $47,169. The funding source is also the MFT funds. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion on those items? Alderman Toomberg.
Thank you, Mayor. Just number 2, could we be reminded of when this project is going to begin and estimated when it will finish?
Thank you. Director Hinkins.
The project has not been let yet. This is an IDOT project. The letting is in June, so we figure about 6 weeks after the letting, probably start sometime end of July, early August, and then they said 50 working days, so it'll finish up before the season is over. It'll be closed to one lane of traffic at a time.
That's going to be fun.
Plan accordingly.
Yes, thank you.
Any other discussion? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Logeman.
Aye.
Toomberg.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Torina.
Aye.
Prunty.
Aye.
Wilkins.
Aye.
Rose.
Aye.
Barrios.
Aye.
Meeks. Bailey. Bonnie. 11 ayes.
Excellent. Thank you. Next, without objection, I'll move officers' reports to the end. And we'll go to motions and resolutions. We have nothing under planning and development or code and regulation, so we're going to get to go back to Alderman Frost and finance and personnel.
Thank you. Number 1, the committee recommends approval of bid for citywide pavement markings to Countryman in the amount of $268,120.17. The contract is through August 29, 2025, with 2 possible one-year extensions. The funding sources and motor fuel tax funds. Number 2, the committee approves an award of bid for citywide marking to Thermo, to Marking Specialist Corp. In the amount of $114,971.45. This contract is also through August 29, 2025, and the funding source are the MFT funds. Number 3, the committee recommends approval of award of bid for the West Riverside Boulevard drainage repairs to DPI Construction in the amount of $26,542.65. The contract duration is through June 27, 2025, and the funding source is the CIP General Fund. Number 4, the committee recommends approval of award of bid for water treatment chemicals to Alexander Chemical, an estimated annual amount of $630,000. The contract duration is 1 year with 4 possible one-year extension options. Annual price adjustments for CPI will be considered a contract renewal only, and the funding source is the Water Fund operating budget. Number 5, the committee recommends approval of sole source contract for polyphosphate treatment chemicals to Caris in the amount of $275,000 based on unit pricing. It is a 1-year contract with 4 possible one-year extensions. Annual price adjustments for CPI will be considered a contract renewal only, and the funding source is the Water Fund operating budget. Number 6, the committee recommends approval of award of sole source contract for 26 flock safety license plate readers, 3 flock safety long-term license plate readers, 1 flock Condor PTZ camera, and 1 flock safety solar multipurpose license plate reader to Flock Group, an estimated amount of $110,050. This contract is 1 year with 2 possible one-year extension options. The funding source is the Organized Retail Crime 2025 grant. Number 7, the committee recommends approval of a non-competitive contract for grant consulting and administrative services to Ellen Bergeson Associates, an estimated annual amount of $50,000. It is a 1-year contract with 4 possible one-year extension options. Annual price adjustments for CPI will be considered a contract renewal only. The funding sources are sales tax, motor fuel tax, CIP, general fund, water replacement and improvement account, and various departmental operating budgets. Number 8, the committee recommends approval of an award of engineering agreement for the Riverfront Path Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program supplement to Fairgram. The original contract was approximately $201,000. There's an additional change order for $36,650, and that consists of additional survey work, updated environmental survey request, additional ADA curb ramp design in order to obtain an improved project development report. The funding source is the motor fuel tax funds. Number 9, the committee recommends approval of an engineering agreement amendment for the 1st Street and 2nd Street over the UP Railroad bridges to Hanson Professional Services, the amount of $223,217 for an amended total of $417,591. The additional scope includes further evaluation and documentation of design alternatives, mitigating historic impacts, additional historic research, additional public meetings, and preliminary site investigation reports. The contract is through June 2026. The funding sources are the grade crossing protection funds and private railroad funds. There is no additional cost to the city. Number 10, the committee recommends approval resolution approving appropriation of MFT funds for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code for the Illinois 251 resurfacing project in the amount of $50,000. Number 11, the committee recommends approval of a resolution approving MFT funds for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code for the East State Street ADA improvements in an amount of $60,000. Number 12, the committee recommends approval of the renewal of contract for the Neighborly Grant Management Software to Benovate in an amount of $28,880. The contract duration is from July 1 of 2025 to June 30, 2026. The funding sources are the CDBG Homeowner Assistance Fund, Home Repair Grant, and the General Fund. Number 13, the committee recommends approval and acceptance of the Illinois Department of Human Services Rapid Rehousing Grant Award in the amount of $474,169. The grant does not require a cost match. The grant term is from July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026. The grant award, if accepted, will provide funds for approved clients' landlord housing and stabilization services, payroll, and administration. And number 14, the committee recommends approval and acceptance of the IDHS Shelter Diversion Grant Award in the amount of $60,000. This grant does not require a cost match. The grant term is from July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026. The grant award, if accepted, will provide funds for approved clients' Landlord Housing and Stabilization Services Payroll and Administration. I place these 14 matters before you.
Excellent. We have 14 items before us. Any discussion, Alderwoman Torino?
Thank you, Your Honor. Item number 5, it's a sole source contract, was, can you explain why there was no competitive bidding on this one specifically? And then I guess I'm looking at 6, I'm looking at sole source, and it's even though it's funded by a grant, I guess it's the same thing.
Thank you. Director Hankins.
Sure. This use of corrosion control required by the IEPA, they require a proprietary blend that only this vendor can provide.
Okay. Thank you.
We already have a commitment and a long-term partnership with Flock for item number 6 that I think we have about 159 license plate readers right now.
It's the same thing, right, because of the technology on it, right?
Yeah, 161.
I think my question is more for 5. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Alderwoman Prunty.
Thank you. I did also have questions regarding 5, 6, and 7. Could you just remind us what is meant by sole source and non-competitive, and when we typically use those?
Director Hegarty.
Certainly. So sole source is when a product can't be acquired from any other supplier. So in this instance, as Director Hankins mentioned, the chemical combination that we're required to use is only available from one source. We cannot purchase it anywhere else. A non-competitive contract is proposed in a situation where, for specific reasons, and I think we mentioned some of those at the committee meeting when talking about number 7, we believe it is in the city's best interest not to go out for competitive solicitation, even though that's possible, because of unique circumstances that may make a certain supplier or vendor better equipped to provide the service than other providers. In this instance, you know, we have a significant history with Ellen Bergeson and her firm, and they have some unique background and skill set that they bring to the table that is not commonly available in the grant assistance environment.
Thank you.
Alderwoman
question, please. And then what is our, in the event that is not sole source or is not competitive, what is that process? Could you explain that to us again?
Dr. Haggerty?
So I'm sorry, just so I understand, if it's not competitive,
if it's
or
not
sole
source and if it's not non-competitive, what would a vendor who is seeking to do business with the city of Rockford expect?
Oh, certainly. Then we would follow the competitive procurement process. So a vendor interested in participating would contact our purchasing division to get added to a bidders list, and then we would send out an official invitation to bid or request for proposals that would have a public opening if it's estimated to be over $25,000 in value. That's our threshold. They would submit a bid. There would be a public bid opening or a public RFP opening, and then an evaluation process to choose and then recommend an award to council.
So, in the event that it is $25,000 or less?
Yes.
How does that work?
So anything over $10,000, the staff must get 3 quotes, solicit 3 quotes from different providers before awarding or recommending to our purchasing division to move forward with a particular vendor. If it is professional services, we generally do not necessarily require a 3 quotes. We ask for competitive solicitations. Under $10,000, there's no competitive requirement under our purchasing ordinance currently.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you. Is there any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, clerk, could you please call the roll?
Logeman.
Aye.
Toomberg.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Torina. Prunty. Wilkins. Rose. Barrios. Meeks. Bailey. Bonnie. 11 ayes.
Excellent, thank you. We'll go to new business ordinances, and we'll go to Planning and Development Committee and Alderwoman Wilkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 1 is an ordinance approving the amendments to the 2025-2029 Consolidated Plan, 2025 Annual Action Plan, and CDBG CV activities.
Thank you. We have one item before us. Is there any discussion on that one item? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Logeman.
Aye.
Toomberg.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Torina. Prunty. Wilkins. Rose. Barrios. Meeks. Bailey. Bonnie. 10 ayes, 1 no.
Excellent. Thank you. Next, we'll go to Code and Regulation Committee and Alderwoman Torina.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have 10 items. Item number 1 is an ordinance establishing a no parking anytime restriction on the south side of Broadway from 13th Street to 15th Street, thus repealing the 2-hour parking restriction on the south side of Broadway from 13th Street to 15th Street. Number 2 is an ordinance establishing a no parking anytime restriction on the north side of Broadway from 11th Street to 160 feet east of 13th Street, thus repealing the 2-hour parking restriction on the north side of Broadway from 12th Street to 13th Street. Number 3 is an ordinance establishing a no parking anytime restriction on the north side of Broadway from Woodruff Avenue to 18th Street. Number 4 is an ordinance approving that traffic on Oaklawn Avenue be required to yield prior to entering the intersection with North Rockford Avenue. Number 5 is an ordinance approving that traffic on Princeton Avenue be required to yield prior to entering the intersection with North Rockford Avenue. Number 6 is an ordinance approving the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's approval for the modification of an existing liquor license to allow for the sale of full liquor by the drink and to modify the hours of operation on Friday and Saturday to 11 p.m. in C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District at 641 South Perryville Road. Number 7 is an ordinance approving a variation to increase the maximum allowed square footage of a drive-through menu board from 36 square feet to 46.29 square feet, and a variation to increase the maximum allowed height of a drive-through menu board from 6 feet to 6 feet 3.75 inches in the C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District at 1224 Beddington Road. Number 8 is an ordinance approving a variation to increase the maximum permitted number of business identification wall signs from 2 to 4 business identification wall signs in the C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District at 3155 McFarland Road. Number 9 is an ordinance approving a special use permit for an outdoor storage of contractor equipment and material and a variation to allow a gravel storage lot in I-1 Light Industrial Zoning District, 2612 Pamela Avenue and 2760 22nd Street. Number 10 is an ordinance approving the following text amendment for Article 50-003 off-street parking ratios and Article 91-002 accessory use, 50-003G electric EVCS parking spaces that are specifically designated for EVCS shall be counted towards a minimum number of off-street parking space requirements. 91-002-1 EV charging stations, single-family residential EVCS are permitted as an accessory use. EVCS shall be located within a garage or on the interior side of the rear elevation of the structure. Multifamily residential EVCS are permitted as an accessory use. All other zoning districts, EVCS, are permitted as an accessory use within any parking structure in all zoning districts. I place these items before you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Any discussion? Alderman Rose.
Yeah, on the item regarding Woodman's, is there a reason for the exception that staff or any of the groups mentioned on that one?
Thank you. Administrator Cagnoni.
Thank you, Your Honor. As our staff reviewed the request and understanding the number of uses that they do provide at the store and the size of the store, they thought the signs were relative to the scale of the building.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion or questions? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Logeman.
Aye.
Toomberg.
Aye.
Frost.
No on 9.
Torina. Prunty. Wilkins. Rose. Barrios. Meeks. Bailey. Bonnie. Items 1 through 6, 11 ayes. Item 7, 10 ayes, 1 no. Item 8, 11 ayes. Item 9, 10 ayes, 1 no. Item 10, 11 ayes.
Excellent. Thank you. Next, we'll move to Finance and Personnel Committee and Alderman Frost.
Number 1 is an ordinance approving an intergovernmental agreement between the city and the state of Illinois for the Illinois 251 resurfacing project. The total cost is estimated to be $9,943,000, of which the city share is estimated to only be $31,939. The funding source is the motor fuel tax funds. Number 2 is an ordinance approving intergovernmental agreement between the City of Rockford and State of Illinois for the East State Street ADA improvements. The total cost of the project is estimated to be $1,437,500, of which the city share is estimated to be $47,169, and the funding source is also the motor fuel tax funds. I place these two matters before you.
Thank you, Alderman Frost. Council, 2 items before you. Any discussion on those 2 items? Seeing none, clerk, would you please call the roll?
Logeman. Aye. Toomber.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Turner. Prunty. Wilkins. Rose. Barrios. Meeks. Bailey. Bonnie. 11 ayes.
Excellent. Thank you. Next, we are going to move to the inauguration portion of our agenda. To begin with, as we are swearing in new council members, we're also saying farewell to several committed aldermen of our community. First, Alderman Bailey, if you would not mind joining me up here. Not going to get out of this that quick. So on behalf of the City Council, on behalf of myself and the entire City of Rockford, I just want to say a sincerely thank you for your service. You came into council after the tragic passing of Alderwoman Linda McNeely, and truthfully, you were baptized by fire. You have been an advocate for small businesses in your ward. You've been an advocate for developments in part of town that have long not seen developments, and you've been able to use your personal experiences from your time in Cleveland and in construction to help our council move forward on a number of projects. And I just want to say on behalf of council and our city, thank you so much for your service. Thank you.
Wow, packed house. First of all, I want to congratulate the Bell family. He's an outstanding young man. I support him. I like the foundation that he's established. It looks good for the future. I'm there for him if he seeks my input and advice. If not, I'll keep him in my prayers. I want to thank the mayor for the appointment, the administration for their support. I've learned a lot, folks. I'll still be around, but not in official capacity. To my colleagues on council, what more can I say about you guys and ladies? Just continue to work together. Opinions do matter. I don't care what side of the ledger that you're on. Opinions matter. It took me a while to understand that and get to know that in my 2 years on council, but I've enjoyed working with each and last one of you. And I wish all of you much success. I'll be here. I'll be attending caucuses. From time to time, I'll be calling Todd Cagnoni and the mayor. But I love my community, and just continue to work together. My message to the council is it's about unity and solidarity. We got to do better. We have to do better. And what I mean by that is when I look at that voter turnout, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I'm going to continue to support energy projects, workforce development, minority and women participation, contractors, because I've told the mayor we got an opportunity. The Green Initiative is a hell of a tool that's been underutilized, and that gives me hope for the future. Thank you.
Thank you again, Alderman Bailey, for your service. Alderman Barrios, Could you please join me up? On behalf of myself, on behalf of our city council, on behalf of our entire city, I just want to say sincerely thank you for the amazing service that you've provided to our community. You too joined our city council during a really difficult time. You joined city council after the passing of a really fantastic alderman in Alderman Tuffy Quinones. You immediately jumped in and began advocating for so many small businesses within the 11th Ward and the residents of the 11th Ward. You really put an emphasis on making sure that we make significant infrastructure improvements in the 11th Ward, and especially in that pedestrian infrastructure. And we certainly all appreciate you for the service that you provided, and we just want to say thank you.
It was an honor to serve this great city of Rockford, Illinois. And I want to thank the mayor and the city council members for the opportunity to help with the duties of alderman for 11th Ward. I serve with respect and dignity to citizens, businesses, and new investors. Today is a new beginning, and I want to wish luck to the mayor, the new city councils, the one still here, and I want to thank all the departments for your service. Every single one, that was fantastic work with you. Thank you very much.
Don't sit down, Alderman Rose. I'm just going to call you Bill if that's okay. Alderman Rose joined our city council 8 years ago. On behalf of myself, on behalf of the city council and our entire city, I do genuinely want to say thank you for the service that you provided. In the 8 years that you've been on council, I can't list all of the items that you've played an influential role in, but I do think it's important that we say several of them. You helped lead this council through a number of casino discussions. You actually were the alderman who put forward the amendment to make sure that we allocate revenue from our casino to make sure that it goes to economic development in distressed areas. You've long been a staunch advocate for reducing blight and highly supportive of the City of Rockford's first ever land bank, and as well as the first ever City of Rockford Community Development Financial Institution. Both now, Alderman Rose, are responsible for hundreds of properties going from blight to productive properties, and also providing hundreds of people with the opportunity of home ownership. You advocated vocally for the redevelopment of Barbara Coleman and turning this long-blighted campus into a now more than $400 million redevelopment agreement. You have been an ardent advocate for instilling pride for our residents in the place that they call home, especially in the quality of life, especially through the arts, as well as appreciating our community's diversity. I think one of the greatest things I could say, Bill, is I've known you forever, and I think you've stayed true to yourself. You came in as Bill Rose with a big heart, and you have laid that heart on the line here and made us a better council. I just want to say on behalf of myself and City Council, thank you so much for all of your work.
Thank you. My heart's kind of racing. So like in the tradition of universities working at one, they have this tradition called the last lecture, and so this is going to be my last lecture for the city of Rockford. It's called Be Radical. There's a tradition, this is my last lecture at the city of Rockford. Since I have a platform and a time that in history may be one of the most central of times on where this country goes, where this world goes, and where this community goes, I have to remind folks that as we move forward as a community, it might make sense to look at some radical ideas. Before I do that, I have to share a few things. Mayor Tom, I don't like you. I love you. You encouraged me to run when I reached out 8 years ago, and you guided me to be the best version of myself. I want to say thank you for all the support you have given me throughout these last few years. When I went through some of my hardest challenges in my life, you were the one that was there to pick up the phone. It has helped me in my recovery efforts, and it is something that I remember like it was yesterday, because it taught me that love really does overcome judgment and shame, two of the biggest things that feed addiction. All too often we shame people for making mistakes in our society instead of putting our hands out and asking, what can I do for help? I hope I can be a lesson for our community when people have arms wrapped around them, that something really amazing can happen. Your response was radical, but it provided me the opportunity to continue on my sobriety these past 4 years. Locally, I know that Rockford has made a major turnaround. It's exciting, it's amazing, and it's wondrous to see this community on the good side of national news. Just being a small part of that work over the last 8 years is an honor. Much of the improvement, though, has been completed due to radical ideas in expanding our roads by spending over 3 times the annual amount in our budget, or making radical changes on how we engage our community through the Community Relations Commission. I have concerns that our radicalness might be under attack, though. And I wanted to share those concerns with the city of Rockford as they will be impacted by policies being placed on by the state of Illinois and from the federal government. The removal of diversity, equity, and inclusion from various local and state institutions is a nod of how our country is going backwards and not forward. Black and brown folks don't get to walk away from white supremacy or racism. They live it every day when they are denied insurance, pay higher interest rates, work multiple jobs to put food on the table, and yes, they get paid less for the same work someone like me does. They don't get to walk away from racism, so it's important that as someone who has privilege in this country, that we don't walk away from them either. I would encourage everyone in this room to really find out why diversity, equity, and inclusion can be a calling to fix the wrongs of the past and not lose sight of the gains this country has made this last 60 years. If you are a white leader or a privileged leader in this community or a neighboring one, you have an obligation to look out for your fellow brothers and sisters across gender, race, ethnicity, sexuality, income level, ability level, and more. Leaders aren't elected to fold when things get tough. They are elected to stand up to bullies, to do the right thing, to be loud even when it's unpopular to be loud, and to work behind the scenes when they cannot be loud. Powerful people are betting that most white and privileged people will fold because that is the easiest thing to do under pressure from powerful men. Many quote-unquote leaders ponder the idea, if I'm not impacted, then why fight a battle that isn't mine? The reason is because it may not be your battle today, but it most assuredly will be your battle tomorrow and the next day. And if we are just looking out for ourselves, then we are not concerned with equity work. We are concerned with privilege. Watching the departments of the current administration erase Native Americans, Black, Mexican, women, LGBTQ contributions from our military, our society, and our country, while implementing some of the most egregious human rights issues around freedom of speech and deportation, will be one of the worst stains on American history. And I hope all the people that partake in these events openly, that they are documented, written about, and shared for our children to critically discover who collaborated with these oppressors. You do not have to comply with illegal orders, and it is your duty to not comply when oppressors ask you to break the law, sidestep the Constitution, or create false interpretations of the Constitution at their political whims. On both sides of the aisle, I will encourage leaders to be consistent and hold these individuals accountable when they say, "I was just following orders." It has been a pleasure to serve within this body for the last 8 years. I fought a lot of battles, both personal and work-related. Many of them I lost, and a few of them I won, but the most important thing that I hoped that I would accomplish is that I tried to make the world a better place by focusing on my community. The world is not separate from Rockford, just like the U.S. is not separate from Rockford as well. All politics start local. The quicker this body sees the connection to world issues, United States issues facing this community, the quicker we will be able to overcome some of the hardest times. The ending of the Department of Human Services at the federal level will likely impact over 16,000 Rockford residents. The ending of major arts grants will impact our arts community, and the continued onslaught of ICE deportations make our community less safe when residents are fearful to go to the police to seek out help. If you don't believe we are intertwined in this work at all levels of government, then you never had me as a government teacher. Some people may mention that I have become extreme in my views the past year, that I am a radical. If empathy, faith in humanity, and a rising awakening of what has been happening in the United States are radical views, then I blame the movies, books, and music and TV shows I've watched. Popular culture, iconic TV movies and music that I listen to, like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Last of the Mohicans, Goonies, listening to Nirvana, The Cranberries, Muse, System of a Down, the Mamas and Papas, Kneecap, the Beatles, CCR, and reading authors like Howard Zinn, William Pinar, Alice Walker, Ray Bradbury, Steinbeck, and most importantly, growing up watching Sesame Street. How Orwellian is it today to argue that these authors, musicians, movie writers, and TV shows are radical? And how crazy is that advocating for health care, food, and basic government necessities as optional while we send billions to billionaires? It is like watching the movie Idiocracy. We cannot live in a world where we ignore the quote-unquote radical ideas of the promise of good health, access to food and education, and of safe living that is guaranteed to all residents. The formation of Rockford Promise Initiative, the Family Peace Center, and the Rock Valley College downtown campus are a great start. Recognize that these were once considered radical ideas. Thank you to Rockford Promise and Rock Valley College for investing in our minority youth. With all that information off my chest, I want to say thank you to all the City of Rockford staff that made me and my colleagues look good each and every day. Without you, we would not be able to govern effectively, from our chiefs, our economic development office, our human services, the Family Peace Center staff, our IT department, our legal team, our water department, our public works, our fire department, and police departments. Each of you are vital to the city's success. We would not be the city we are becoming without your support. My reminder to Rockfordians is to never give up on our neighborhoods. They are the core defense of our communities in desperate times. Fight for them, join a mutual aid organization, or turn your neighborhood organization into one. Share food, resources, and space with each other. When we fight for our neighborhoods, we are fighting for our families. Hope is a great emotion that can get you started on this journey. Prayer can offer you some comfort knowing God is with you, but recognize that God gave you two legs to fulfill that prayer. My recommendations for the new alderman is to lean into radical ideas of reinvesting in the west side, adding more amenities for bikes in our community, supporting continued work along small business corridors, creating tax breaks for first-time home buyers, looking to engage our minority groups, including Palestinians. Continue the promise and commitments to the arts. Consider extending funding and programs to apprenticeship-type programs, and fight the good fight to remain a welcoming community. These ideas were once considered radical, but they are now necessary for the long-term success of our community. Thank you, Mayor, City Council, my family, friends, people of the 9th Ward, and all Rockfordians that have inspired me to not be quiet in times of injustice, to put forth change ideas and initiatives, and to be radical in my own way as a servant to this community. It has been a pleasure to serve you.
Thank you, Alderman Rose, Alderman Barrios, and Alderman Bailey. Genuinely appreciate your service to our community. At this time, we are going to perform the oaths of office to the re-elected aldermen, Alderman Logeman, Toomberg, Frost, Torina, Prunty, Wilkins, Meeks, and Bonney, and I will turn it over to Director Hammer.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just for the record, Alderman Durkee, Alderwoman Hoffman, and Alderman Beach took their oaths of office last week, so they have already been sworn in, even though they're not here tonight. You all have a memo in front of you. I will pause for you to state your name and also to identify the ward number of your respective ward. If you would raise your right hand. Yes, if you would stand, please, and raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of your ward alderman of the City of Rockford, Illinois, according to the best of my ability. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. For those re-elected aldermen, if you would like to make any comments, we certainly can open the floor to your comments. Okay. Thank you. Next, we are going to begin administering the oath of office to our newly elected aldermen and women, Granith, Salgado, and Bell.
So if Alderwoman Granith would step forward with her family, please, if you would just step over here. Okay. If you would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Dawn Granith, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of 9th Ward Alderman of the City of Rockford, Illinois, according to the best of my ability. Thank you and congratulations.
I just want to take this opportunity and thank the voters of the 9th Ward for this opportunity going forward, and I'm looking forward to doing the work. Thank you.
If Alderman Salgado would step forward with his family and friends, please. You want to come up this way? If you want to go over here. Okay. If you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jaime Salgado, do solemnly swear.
I, Jaime Salgado, do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
And the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office.
And that I will duly discharge the duties of the office.
Of 11th Ward Alderman.
Of 11th Ward Alderman.
Of the City of Rockford, Illinois.
Of the City of Rockford, Illinois.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much. I just want to take a couple words because I think I do need to recognize some folks and thank the alderman that I'll be serving, alderperson, alderwoman as well. I have a couple county board members that are here in the house, Ms. Hansard, Mr. Neighbors, and if I missed anyone, please apologize for that. But I do want to take the time to recognize my mom. She's present here. Unfortunately, my dad passed away during COVID. Could not be here, but he is one of the biggest champions. You know, we ran a couple elections. He was kind of like my motivator when it came to running the campaigns. He always ran scared, as I call it. I'm a numbers guy, so kind of like the mayor and some of the folks, you know, we look at the numbers, voters, we dissect it, we look how many numbers we need, and so forth. But my father was kind of always running scared, and he's always been my motivation from that perspective. So funny story is, you know, my dad was, you know, we were campaigning in one of the campaigns, and he said, hey, you know, your opponent has the sign, you know, he's got music playing outside the, you know, the polling place. And I'm like, it's too late. You know, we did our homework. I'm confident in the numbers we have. And so, you know, I always typically, what I do is I pick up my yard signs the same day of the election. So you always know, right? You get phone calls. And most likely it means you won the election as the night goes on. If you don't, then you know pretty much you lost the election. So, you know, I'm picking up my yard signs. I come back in, you know, my dad comes rushing out of the business and he says, we won. You know, and that's the most rewarding thing that anyone here, and I have a lot of supporters here tonight from Midtown District, Keith Young, the Brad, the Ruse out here, and Sue Ruse are out here from Midtown District. We have Steve Lavelle and Bob. Those are the individuals that motivate me to get where I want to be. And it's not about the Jaime Salgado show, just for the record, or the Salgado, but it's really about those residents that, you know, motivate from that. So I do want to take that time from that perspective. Now, real quick, shortly, transition a little bit. You know, I'm here because there's a lot of things that the 11th Ward needs, right? And I feel that Tuffy's daughter's here, but Tuffy was a great partner with myself, and we worked collaboratively on some certain things, and I want to continue that, right? Obviously have a seat at the table, push the mayor and the administration to look at the 11th Ward when it comes to economic development, blight, and so forth. There is a lot in our area that needs to be addressed from that perspective. So I do want to, you know, those are the challenges, and obviously public safety is huge in that area that we need to address. So those are the things that I've campaigned for. I continue to do at the county level. I certainly did that, and I will continue to do that. Finally, in closing, you know, I just want to thank my family, which is downstairs. They couldn't get a chance to sit in here in the rotunda here in the chambers here. So I want to thank them for coming out, always being supportive there from that perspective. So I'm looking forward to the challenges. just coming from the county to the city, and let's get the road on the show. Thank you very much.
Will Alderman Bell and his family step forward, please?
You're great. This is awesome. May have to make 2 rows.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Tamir Bell, do solemnly swear
I, Tamir Bell, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of 13th Ward Alderman
of 13th Ward Alderman
of the City of Rockford, Illinois,
of the City of Rockford, Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you and congratulations.
Well, good evening, Mayor McNamara, esteemed members of the City Council, city staff, and to everyone watching online and here in the chamber, thank you. Today is not just a special day for me, it's a special day for the 13th Ward. It's a humbling reminder of the power of community and responsibility that comes with public service. To the residents of the 13th Ward, I want to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for the conversations. Thank you for believing in me. I'm standing here because of you, because of your vision, our vision, your concerns, my concerns, your hope, and my hope for a better future. To my predecessor, Mr. Bailey, thank you for stepping into this seat during a time of transition after the passing of Alderwoman McNeely. To my parents, my loving family, and my friends, thank you for being my foundation. I love you. Your love, sacrifice, and constant support have brought me to this moment. To my friends, thank you for the long talks, the encouragement, the grounding reminders of who I am beyond any title. To my mentors, your wisdom, your time, and your belief in a young man with big dreams have left a permanent imprint on my heart. I carry your lessons every step of the way. And to the village that raised me, the neighbors, the teachers, the faith leaders, the organizers, you're the reason why I'm here. This community, this city. You saw something in me before I saw it in myself. I'm now honored to serve the very community that shaped me and got me here today. So as I take my seat on this city council, I do so with humility and gratitude and with clear, steady commitment to serve with integrity, to lead with a big heart, and to stay anchored in the people. May we continue to work together across every ward of this city, for every single resident in the city of Rockford, and in every corner of this city. I know I just said that, but every corner of this city. Let's get to work. Thank you.
I now have the privilege of administering the oath of office to Mayor McNamara. You would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Thomas P. McNamara, do solemnly swear
I, Thomas P. McNamara, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of Mayor of the City of Rockford, Illinois,
of Mayor of the City of Rockford, Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I want to just begin briefly by saying a sincere thank you to my amazing wife, Sarah, my two beautiful children. I don't know if you realize this, but the best place to be on May 5th, and it being your birthday, my son's birthday, is here at City Council. So happy birthday, Malachi John. I also want to say a sincere thank you to my amazing mother. I love you. Thank you for everything. I'll try to do something non-McNamara and try to be as brief as I can for you, but over the past several years, many of us have had this awesome opportunity to work together. So since 2017 and with the newer council in 2021, I genuinely believe that we have made real progress and are actively transforming our city. And I'm excited to build on that momentum and continue moving our community forward with this new council. When I came into office back in 2017, the outlook for Rockford, truthfully, was incredibly bleak. The city actually was on track to have no money by 2021. Our property taxes were rising, infrastructure was crumbling, our property values were dropping, people were fleeing the city of Rockford, and our crime was increasing, but maybe worse than all, there seemed to be little hope, pride, and few opportunities for our residents. Today, through amazing work with the council, we've balanced 8 budgets. Our tax rate is now below 2% for the first time since 1984. And rather than facing budget shortfalls, we have a reserve fund that's at full strength. In addition, our violent crime has dropped, our property crime has dropped. Our property values are at the highest in the history of Rockford, which to me really means that we are generating real wealth for the residents of Rockford. Our infrastructure, as was mentioned earlier by Alderman Rose, we just approved the largest capital improvement plan that you will see in the history of Rockford. And this summer alone, there'll be more than 490 unique construction projects touching and improving nearly every single neighborhood in the city of Rockford. Our residents in the city of Rockford now have more hope and more opportunities. We've added thousands of jobs in the last 4 years. We have supported survivors of domestic and sexual violence and created and expanded programs for our residents who have been impacted by trauma. Just last night was really one of the most special events, I think, at the city of Rockford, or in the city of Rockford. We saw 50, the first 50 NIU graduating Rockford Promise scholars walk across the Coronado stage. In addition, we saw the largest new cohort of Rockford Promise of more than 200 scholars committing through this transformational initiative. This fall, we will have 500 of our young children on college campuses going there tuition-free. Moments like last night make and help us remember what is possible when we invest in our community's future. And it's because of this body's work that those moments are possible. And tonight, we get to celebrate another kind of investment. The people in this room who have stepped up to serve our community. I will say many of us have encountered a number of challenges. Many of us had challenging elections, during which maybe our work and maybe even at times we personally felt that we were under attack or faced intense scrutiny or even criticism. I think what makes this evening special is that all of that, truthfully, is behind us. When we walk through these doors every single Monday and we sit around this horseshoe, we come together as one Rockford. This is the most diverse city council in our city's history. This is the most diverse administration in our city's history. Tonight, we stand united as one Rockford, and I'm excited to move this city we all love forward so that everyone who calls the city of Rockford home has the opportunity to thrive and to succeed. Like you, I am humbled by the trust our residents placed in all of us this election. Now it's our responsibility to serve all of them, those who supported us and those who may not have supported us. I look forward to working alongside of you, continuing to build relationships, and continuing to move our city forward. Thank you so much. So at this time, I get to practice, at this time we get to move forward, I'll say. The meeting is adjourned. Sine die. I know you all know what that means.
We need a motion in a second.
We need a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, now we are adjourned. But before you all leave, and County Board Member Hansard, I know it's hot. I know it's hot. At this time, we'll have our new council members join us. Okay. Now we will call back the meeting to order. And clerk, could you please call the roll?
Logeman. Here. Toomberg. Here. Frost. Here. Tarina. Here. Prunty. Here. Wilkins. Here. Granath. Salgado. Meeks. Bell. Here. Bonnie. Here. 11 present.
Excellent. We have a quorum. We have one item under appointments. We have appointment and reappointment of the following individuals as directors of their municipal department in the city of Rockford. We have Carrie Haggerty as Director of Finance, Sharice Hunter as Director of Human Resources, Aquanette Parham as Director of Health and Human Services, Todd Hughes as Director of Information Technology, Angela Hammer as Director of the Legal Department, Scott Sanders as Director of Public Works, Sarah Lives as Director of Community and Economic Development. Is there any discussion on the one item before us? Alderwoman Tarina.
Mayor, considering that our new colleagues we have not had a chance to caucus with them regarding this, I would make a motion to lay over this item.
We have a motion to lay over. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Clerk, could you please call the roll on the motion to lay over?
Logeman.
Nay.
Toomberg.
No.
Frost.
No.
Tarina.
Aye.
Prunty.
Aye.
Wilkins.
No.
Granath. Salgado. Meeks? Bell? Bonnie? Bonnie?
No.
3 ayes, 8 noes.
Motion fails. items up before us. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, clerk, could you please call the roll?
Logeman. Toomberg. Frost. Torina. Prunty. Wilkins. Granath. Salgado. Meeks. Bell. Bonnie. 10 ayes, 1 no.
Excellent, thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn? We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Oh, officers' reports. Thank you, Alderwoman Wilkins. Do you have a report? Fantastic. Alderwoman Wilkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Last Thursday, May 1st, there was a 7th Ward meeting that was held, first one for this year at Northwest Community Center. And I wanted to say a few thank yous, and then I'll be done with it. I'd like to first thank you, Mayor McNamara, my right hand on this horseshoe, Alderwoman Prunty of the 6th Ward, and Rockford trustee Elsie Wilson for being in attendance. I also would like to thank the City Administration Departments, Health and Human Services, Fire, Economic Development, Public Works, and Code Enforcement for coming out and giving updates and answering some pretty tough questions. I appreciate you all. We had just over 100 residents come out this evening, and they were, again, able to hear some updates. And I have to also thank Rockford Park District, Danielle Potter, who came out and did announce that our hometown hero, Fred Van Vliet, will be putting in a new basketball court at Andrews Park. So there will be a big celebration on June 7th. Just keep a lookout for my Facebook page, Janessa Wilkins for Alderman, and also updates from the Rockford Park District about that celebration. But I will continue to knock on some doors to get some community feedback as they are looking to replace the tennis courts down at the park. So we're looking for, resident feedback on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other reports, Alderwoman Prunty?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I too had the opportunity to be a part of the Rockford Promise celebration. It was wonderful. I also had an opportunity to be a part of the Think Big's 19th graduation. Just based on both events, I just feel as if Rockford's future is very bright. We have invested wisely in those initiatives and those people. So thank you to the previous council for that, and the new council moving forward. I hope that we will continue to invest wisely in the people and the young people of this community.
Thank you. Any other reports? Alderman Bell.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to let the folks know in the 13th Ward and across this community that on May 3rd, I opened up a ward office in the 13th Ward. Thank you, Alderwoman Torina, for attending. Over a few dozen folks came out to the grand opening, but the location is at the Boys and Girls Club Stentrum Unit at 609 Kilburn Avenue. And yeah, I'm looking forward to serving the 13th Ward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Alderman Toomberg.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations all tonight, by the way. Just what was said earlier on the IDOT and North 2nd, I can't stress enough with all the individuals here tonight and the millions, like I say, the millions that are watching throughout the world via the internet, our meeting, that just start spreading the word and be prepared that there's going to be North 2nd, it's going to be down to one lane each way later on this year. So that is going to be a mentally trying time for many individuals on the way to work and on the way home from work. So just start getting prepared for that because it is in the 3rd Ward, and So I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you all.
Thank you. Any other reports? We'll go back. Do we have a motion to adjourn? We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, have a wonderful night. Congratulations.